Crush.
Okay, I think we're live. Welcome to Crush Wednesday. Good to have everybody here. So excited for today's episode. I've been waiting for this episode for so long, guys. If you were just tuning in, my name is Richard Turnji. I'm the founder of Com Marketing, and today this is Crush Wednesday 929. And I thought we'd do some of these great interviews with some of our ninjas and pre-ninjas and share the story, because I think there's a great story here. So if you're tuning in and you're a person that's kind of like got a bit of fear, has been a trainer who wants to open up their studio, who wants to double their business, who wants to grow a team, who wants to do all that, I've got the best guest that I could think of right now is Tony Morello from Better Than Ever. Welcome to the Crush Wednesday show.
Hi, how are you, Richard? Hi, everyone.
Amazing. Very good to have you here. Now, Tony, we're coming in from Adelaide, right? You're in Adelaide?
Yep.
And Tony, it's great to have you here because you're in your kind of new premises. I mean, you opened at this start of the year, and it's called the Better Than Ever Studio. It's quite a phenomenal, brand new concept studio. Probably, I don't know, the first or very few of its kind. And we met probably around a year and a half ago, something like that.
That's it.
In our ninja program. And I remember sitting in this room, this particular room, and you had no idea on Facebook. And here we are on a Facebook Live. And I want to understand your journey and your story and how was it that somebody with so many years of experience, you were doing back-to-back personal training sessions. You started from a garage. You moved into a bigger premise. But when I went to visit you, this premise wasn't very big. Like, I'm talking a very small. And
it was a house.
It was a micro space.
We're working out of the garage. We're working out of the front lounge of a house.
Front lounge of a house. And now, this is just the entry from your brand new location, Better Than Ever in Adelaide. And in other episodes, I'm going to come down there. I'm going to show everybody your location. But tell me about your story, Tony, because I think your story relates to a lot of personal trainers, especially those that have been in the game for a long time, but just don't know where to go after trying to scale up. I'd love to know your story. I know it's a big question, but maybe that's where you started from.
Well, I mean, the bottom line, Richard, was I've been a trainer for 30 years. I started off like a lot of trainers back in the early 90s. I did a sports science or human movement degree. And then I didn't want to go and work for, sporting clubs or anything like that. I just really enjoyed my own training, doing weights and getting fit and running marathons and all that sort of stuff. And people would start asking me, can you help me with my program? Just like a lot of other trainers do. They train at the gym and then they decide, you know what, can you write out a program for me? So you start writing out a program for someone, then you're writing an eating plan. Before you know it, you're training them. Before you know it, you're training their family and their friends. Before you know it, you're training, 5 clients and 10 clients and 30 clients. And you're thinking, shit, I can't do this from home anymore, because before the first 10 years I was working for everybody else. So you're just running around like a headless chook. I had 7 jobs at one stage, going, from a cleaner to teaching aerobic classes, teaching, on reception, doing PT, gym instructing. Every single job that you can have in the fitness industry, I've had it, from sales to everything. And that was because back in those days, there wasn't enough work for trainers. And really, as you know, you've been in the industry for a long time. For personal trainers back then, it was really, for the average person, it was something that wasn't quite affordable, because it was mainly for the rich and famous.
Yeah, definitely.
It was so hard for us to try and get the clientele. You have to try and work the gym floor. But unbeknownst to me, that was how I learned a lot of my communication skills, because you had to really work hard to talk to these members in the gym and convince them to get a program with you. And at the beginning, we all became gym instructors, and the gym would say, okay, well, look, you can write out a program, but if then someone wants a second program, they're going to come on as a PT client, which means they have to pay extra on top of their membership. So it was very different than what it is now. So that's how we sort of progressed. And then it got to a point where I was thinking, all right, I'm making all this money for everybody else. I might as well start doing it for myself. And I thought, where am I going to start? And I remember my wife and I, we bought this house that had an attached granny flat to it.
Yep.
And I left all the jobs that I working at, and I was at one point, it sort of hit me. I thought, shit, I was unemployed. And I thought, what am I going to do now? And my wife, Lucy said to me, look, you always said you wanted to set up your own studio. Why don't you do it from the garage of the house like you originally said you wanted to do? So we had a double garage, and I rang up my dad and I said, right, Dad, we're going to deck the garage out, put air conditioning, put new flooring, paint the walls, all that sort of stuff. So we did all that. I went and invested probably about $50,000 worth of equipment and jam-packed it with stuff. And we started training clients. And we did that for about close to 10 years. And then what happened was we got so busy doing one-on-ones, because back then that's what we were doing, one-on-ones, that we started doing two-on-ones, but we didn't really have the space to do groups. And I had an oval across the road, a footy oval, that we used to take clients out and do a bit of group stuff out there. And we used to use the playground and start doing outdoor training. And then we started doing running groups and all that sort of stuff. And that allowed me to scale my business. But then we got to a stage where we thought, my wife, Lucy, left her job and became a massage therapist. So we turned the business, which at the time was called Professional Fitness Monitoring, in 1994. And this is going now to 2000.
Yeah.
I got burnt out because I was working like so many hours. I started at 5 a.m. and I was working till 9 o'clock at night, back to back, non-stop. And I was at home, but I wasn't even seeing my wife. I was at one end of the house and she was at the other end of the house. But we got to a stage where we started, taking over more and more rooms of the house. So then the third bedroom became the office, and the second bedroom became the massage room. And then before we knew it, we had a 3-bedroom house, and it was taken over by the whole business. And we thought it's not good to run a business out of home when you're scaling that quickly. So then we found a premises around the corner in a neighbouring suburb. But the thing was, that was only a temporary gig because we were trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. And then we went from a hexagon peg into a round hole. And it was like think about a 1960s home. And it had more offices, which is good because we were able to expand our allied health services, our massage, physio, chiropractic and all that. But from the PT, it sort of limited a little bit. And so we were working, the gym was actually in the formal lounge of a 60s style home. Like, think about a cream brick home. And then the formal dining room was where we had our cardio. And we ran that for another close to 10 years, which you came along and had a look at. But here's the biggest thing here.
Hang on, let me just stop you there. Guys, if we're listening to this, I just want to recap what Tony's just said here. 1994, you kind of kicked it off in the garage, stayed there, maxed it out, moved to another premises after 9 years in the garage, basically a 1960s home, and you continued going one-to-one. Now, I think, guys, if you are listening to this, let me know where you're listening to. Make sure you comment below if you've got any questions for Tony, because what I'm hearing here, Tony, you were consistently personal training for the space of, 20 years, one-to-one model, what very few people do. And you consistently kept doing that until natural progression came, where you literally had to get booted out because you're just getting too big.
Correct.
It was like a natural progression. Guys, if this has happened to you, let me know that you can relate. Kylie says yes, she can relate. And it's a natural progression. And when that happens, there's two things here. One, it means you're doing a great job as a trainer. But two, it also means that, hey, why do you need to even think about running a business? Because you're running the operations of it. So business sort of comes naturally. But tell me to now, Tony, I think you're going to move on to the next part of it. But my question is, like, that 1960s home that you had, it was very small. What kept you there for so long? What was the thing that kept you there for so long? Was it just routine? Was it that you didn't know what you didn't know? Because, this day and age, everybody's trying to get something bigger, something greater, having more trainers under them. They're trying to start an online business. But you, Tony, you're being consistent. So tell me about that part there.
Well, it comes with a 4-letter word starting with F, and it's fear. So here's the story. This was the crossroads. And look, I don't believe in regrets. I believe things happen for a reason. And even though sometimes we take a backward step or a sideward step, it's there to teach us a lesson.
Yep.
Unfortunately for me, the lesson took 13 years. So
Wow.
you interviewed me on one of your quick wins, and in a short little video there, you can see what happened there. And that was when we first moved into a warehouse that I bought in 2005.
So you had this warehouse in 2005.
I had
Were you renting it out, were you, Tony?
Yeah, so what happened was I bought the warehouse with the intention of moving from my garage to the warehouse.
Yeah.
But then I was freaking myself out because I thought, shit, I've got this mortgage. How am I going to move out? You know, I've got to decorate with more equipment because now we're moving from, say, a garage which had 30 square meters of space to a warehouse with 300 square meters of space. So we've gone 10 times the size, but I only had enough equipment for my garage. So I'm thinking, I just spent $50,000 on the equipment. I just paid it off. Now I'm going to have to spend, 10 times the amount. And I didn't have the money for that. Plus I had to afford a mortgage. And I thought, maybe it's cheaper for me to just, so I was just too scared. So I just kept procrastinating and delaying it and thinking, no, I kept convincing myself that everything was okay. Like a lot of trainers do. They stay at the same gym that they work out and they go, you know what? I won't go out on my own. I'll keep paying rent. I know that other trainers are cutting my lunch. I know they're trying to steal my clients, but there's plenty of clients here. I don't have to worry about looking for clients because they're all here at this gym that I work at and they play it safe. And that's what I did. I had my core base of clients that I trained at home and I was doing a great job with the one-on-ones and I was getting great results with clients. And I thought, well, look, I'm in my home. I don't have to worry about rent. I was claiming a lot of the expenses back on my home expenses like utilities through the business.
I just want to interrupt you there. How many of you do that? You say, I'm okay because I'm claiming, I'm taking a lower wage, I'm claiming this, I'm taking my petrol, and you make it okay for yourself. But, when I'm working the hours, I might not be making what I want, but it's okay. Let me know if that's been you guys where you just think it's okay, it's all going to work out in a wash. But
and that's what happened to me. I mean, and this took 13 years and 99.9% of trainers would have quit after 13 months, not 13 years. But because I love doing what I do and I love being a trainer and I love helping people, I just kept, and I've just got that persistence and that tenacity. I can't give up on people. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. The model works and I'll figure it out. But the thing is, when you get to your 40s, you haven't got the same energy as what you have in your 20s. So you realize, shit, I can't keep waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning and working 16-hour, 17-hour days. And then on top of that, spending the weekends doing my paperwork and bookkeeping and all that sort of stuff. And at the time, I changed accountants. And my accountant said to me, mate, this model cannot work. You can't scale your business. You are the business. Better than ever is Tony Manillo. You cannot leave. And I thought, Farah, what am I going to do here? He said, you've got two choices. You're either going to close the business because you're going to burn yourself out, or because you can't sell it, or you're going to sell it at such a low price, you're not going to even make any money out of it. So you've got to either keep doing what you're doing or you've got to change the model. And I thought, Farah, I can't keep doing what I'm doing anymore. I'm just killing myself, So that's when we restructured the whole business and we said, right, we're going to go from a per session rate, and we restructured quite a lot of things. And we started going from one-on-ones to two-on-ones. Then we started doing three-on-ones. And then I thought, you know what? We have to go from a per session rate to a membership. So we changed from paying, people paying blocks of 5 and blocks of 10 and blocks of 20. We even have blocks of 50. So people
the old school blocks of 50 and 100. Guys, comment if that's you. Have you been selling the 50 and 100? I remember back in the day, that's what you sold, Tony.
Yeah. So because you were told, get the money all up front. Yeah. And that way you got lots of money and but then you got to learn about cash flow and how to manage that cash flow. And then I thought beauty. And then I made the biggest mistake every trainer makes. I'm going to go and buy myself a new car. I've got all this cash.
Well, you got the 100 session pack.
And I leased the car through the business. And then my accountant said to me, you know, a few years later, mate, you can't afford this car, you know.
Wow.
And I thought, all right, well, I learned a massive lesson. And then GFC hit, and that just changed the game in 2007. And I was like, had a mortgage. I was paying rent at the other place I was at. And it was just, you know, it was a whirlwind. But we got through it, and then we changed the model. So what we did, we said, right, instead of, we knew we offered phenomenal service. We knew that we were going to, we had plans to move into the warehouse, but we needed to know how we were going to do it. And I said, and everyone was telling me, oh, just do what everyone else does. Do the big group thing. Do like they do in other places where you've got a warehouse, chuck it all in there, get a whole bunch of trainers, and everyone can just train themselves. And I said, no. My model's different. I'm all about personal service. I'm all about the privacy. I'm all about the, you know, the one-on-ones. And I've scaled out to the 3-on-1s. I'm a boutique personal trainer. I don't do the group stuff at that level. I'm boutique. I charge a high price point to be boutique, and the clientele we aim for, so our avatar are the 35 pluses. So we target the CEOs, we target the super mums, and we target the retirees. So if you're part of the Ninja program, this is one of the things that Richard and the team will teach you on how to understand who your avatar is. Because when I was working out of my garage, and when I was working out of the 60s style home, I was just trying to get whichever client would be happy to pay me money. I didn't care where it came from, but I was attracting the wrong client. And then you'd attract the clients that wouldn't pay you. And then you'd get the ones that, you know, would, oh, look, I forgot my wallet, forgot my purse, I'll fix you up next week. And you've got bills to pay. You know, what are you going to do? You can't I can't ring up SA Water and say, hey, sorry, guys, I can't pay my water this week because, you know, the client that was supposed to pay me today isn't going to pay me till next week. So then you're thinking, shit, then you start accumulating credit card debt, and you've got to start learning how to manage that. Mate, being a trainer, if anyone tells you it's easy, they better think again, because we are a unique bunch of people, and I take my hat off to anyone that decides to be a trainer.
Guys, let's recap there. Tony doesn't need to take a breath, but I certainly do. And I need to recap what Tony just said here, because, guys, comment below if this is you. You've been in that state of being a personal trainer. They say open up a big group and you go, I can't afford that big group situation. I want to stay as a small personal trainer. And there's not a lot of you out there that are that you want to stay small, but it's the struggle between how do you do it all? How do you balance? And, you know, I think, Tony, you've been over so many just journeys of getting you, you know, to where you are now. We still haven't got to that conversation yet, but I love the journey. And I think as any personal trainer, and I started out personal training in 1999, and you know, back then, and I can only imagine if I was for 14 years just doing that. And my hat's off to you and any trainer that's been that consistent to be where they're at now. Because what's happening here, guys, if you have been in fear, if you've ever had fear, write fear in the comments, by the way, guys. Put fear in the comments if you've ever been through something similar what Tony's talking about. If you're watching this in replay and live, if you're watching similar, have you been in a fearful position where you can relate to what Tony's talking about? Comment below now. But what I'm getting to is that you were persistent enough to get you to here. Now, this is where I want to ask you a few questions, because any person who's understands the game of personal training, understands the craft, not just personal training, but whatever industry you're in. If you understand the craft, you understand people, you understand how to retain people, you understand all that, then the only thing you have to learn is then how to scale up and how to be consistent. And what we love, part of Common, who we love to actually work with, are people just like yourself, Tony, who are very good at their craft, who are the best at their craft. And it's just that nobody taught them how to advertise or how to scale or how to run finances. Nobody taught them that, because I think the world needs more good quality personal trainers, fitness professionals, life coaches, people that impact community. And you're one of those people, Tony. So tell me now, you know, I mean, we met 2 years ago, and you were at that stage where you transformed. You're already in the group situation, right? You already did the groups, the small groups at that point.
Yeah.
Were you at that point, I think it was a year and a half ago, something like that, started last year, I believe. You were at a point, and what made you and just to speed everybody up, Tony has been a ninja program. So what made you decide, so you know what? I've got to do something. Like you did so much already to that point, and I want to sort of reflect on that. But then, is there a point that you were capped at that point? How did you know what to do next?
So what happened, Richard, was we got to a stage where we maxed out all our sessions.
Right.
We got to about, believe it or not, we were training at one stage. I was training up to 70 clients on my own.
On your own.
6 days a week, and this is one-on-ones, two-on-ones. That's what we did, right? I was training about 30 clients a day at some points. You know, I was doing 16-hour days.
So you were still mainly yourself doing the one-on-twos at that point. You had the dream of going threes, but you just didn't get there yet. Is that
Correct.
right?
Well, okay. I did start. I was doing a couple of threes at peak times, like 6 a.m., 6 p.m., those sort of things. But the thing was that the shift happened here. When we sat down, my accountant and I sat down, and this is, if there's one thing that every trainer needs to understand, it's know your numbers. Know your numbers. You've got to know what your cash flow is. You've got to know your income and expenses, and you've got to know where your money's coming from and where it's coming from next. Because if you stuff your numbers up, you might be the greatest trainer in the world, but if you've got no idea how to run your business and you've got no idea about, you don't need to know everything about profit and loss statements and balance sheets and all that sort of stuff, but the basics of where's my money coming in and what are my expenses. If you know that, you've got the basics down pat, you'll be okay. But what happened to me was I got to a point where my accountant said to me, did you realize that last year, I've calculated, you just lost $64,000 in no-shows and cancellations that you didn't charge people. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, 64,000. I missed out on that year. And I thought, well, I can't do that anymore. And on top of that, we knew that we couldn't scale any further. I couldn't train any more people because I didn't have enough space in my garage and at the old place to have a second trainer train with me at the same time. And I had to change it. I had to change the model. So we then said, right, we have to move into this warehouse. We have to do it. But we needed to do it in a way that we could afford it. So I took a big punt, but we ran our numbers. We forecasted, we worked it out. We said, all right, what do we do? So at that point, the industry started changing from one-on-ones to groups to outdoors to 24-hour fitters. And then all of a sudden the online market came on board. And there were certain big players in there that were making a lot of ground there. And I had no idea about social media. None. I'm a Gen X, mate. I just pick up my phone and I just ring and text message. And that's the most I do. And even now, I still don't even know half the stuff that's going on, right? So I remember I just re-registered with Fitness Australia. And I got this automated email from you saying, would you like to have marketing muscle up? And I thought, all right, well, I've got nothing to lose. It's free. I might as well just have a chat with someone and find out what I need to change, because I knew I had to get on the social media platform because that's where the leads were coming from. One of the days, mate, we used to walk around on our push bikes and walk around the neighborhood just popping letters in people's letterboxes and spending thousands of dollars on leaflet advertising. Mate, that's gone. If you think that that's the way to make money, I had someone say to me, I'm going to just do a letterbox. I said, mate, forget it. People don't even have letterboxes anymore. Don't even worry about it. Yeah. So I thought, all right, so long story short, I liked what I heard. And then you said to me, Tony, you're going to come along to one of our, marketing muscle-ups. I came over to Sydney, and mate, that just was a 360-degree turnaround, plus a 180-degree in the right direction. And then I said, that's it. I've got to get the website, because my website hadn't been updated since 2011. So I had this old website that still had Registered Fitness Professional 2011, and that was it. And it was a read-only website. It was not interactive. No testimonials, nothing. It was just about me. It was very basic. I did it myself, or I got a friend to do it for me. And the first thing he said is, we've got to start fixing up your social platforms. Facebook, I reckon I had about 100 followers, and I didn't even use it for 3 years. It just sat there dormant. Instagram. I didn't even have Instagram. I didn't have YouTube. I didn't have anything. And you guys tidied it all up, the whole lot from the ground. So it was like I built this awesome house, and I forgot about the foundations. I started laying the bricks, and the walls are falling down. But then you guys said, come on, let's just take a back seat. And I can remember when you first came to me and you said to me, we had a business strategy meeting, and Richard said, right, Tony, we need an offer. I said, an offer? An offer for what? What are you talking about? I don't need no offers. I've been in this game for years. What are you talking about? You need to start doing Facebook Lives. Facebook what? What do you mean Facebook Live? I don't even know what Facebook is, let alone live. I can go live, but I don't know about Facebook. And then I remember Joey, we had a ninja program specifically on Facebook Lives. And she said, look, you're going to do it right now. We're going to do a live right now. So, I don't know. I don't even know anything about this. She goes, look, it's real easy. Press this button. Da, da, da. And I realized, I thought, mate, that's not hard. I could do that. But this is the key. I made a commitment to Joey. I made a commitment to Richard and the comm team. And I said, right. And this is what I love about the Ninja program. It makes you accountable. You have your accountability calls, and you make sure you have to execute what you say you're going to do. Because they'll say to you, hey, did you ring? Did you do that Facebook Live? Did you do this? Did you do that? And you'll be accountable. Well, there's no point in paying the money if you're not going to do the work. You might as well be like everybody else. And I didn't want to be like everybody else. I wanted to be unique. I know I needed to change. I know I needed to get on that social platform. And you guys helped me from the ground up. And it's the best decision I ever made. So on January 16, 2018,
yep,
we did our first Facebook Live from the storeroom of the old office, the storeroom.
Not amazing.
Because at that stage, I employed a trainer and he was working for me. Actually, no, at that stage, I didn't employ a trainer. I had to cancel clients to do the Facebook Live.
Yes, that's correct. In the storeroom, yeah.
And we're in a storeroom. So if you ever see that very first Facebook Live, I'm in my storeroom, sweating like a savage because there's no air conditioning in there. And it didn't work, and it stuffed up. And I thought there was a time limit on Facebook Live that had to end after 30 minutes. And then I realized that it didn't. It was the funniest thing. I look back at it now and go, far out, how did we do that? And then 70 later.
Yep. And what happened on that first Facebook Live? Because, I mean, you're still doing Facebook Live today, but just go back to the first one. I mean, let's talk about some numbers. What sort of clients did you get? I mean, you did a Facebook Live, but you never knew. You had a Facebook account with your wife. I think it was Lucy and Tony. You never did Facebook Live before. You had people who knew of you possibly over the last 20 years. But you did a Facebook Live and something magically happened. And it was called clients. What happened in that Facebook Live?
All of a sudden, all these old clients started contacting me. Oh, I saw this thing that you did on the internet. Oh, really? Yeah, look, I was thinking about coming back to see you. Maybe, well, come down, let's have a chat. So you start signing up a couple of clients. You think, mate, you know what? Maybe this thing actually works. And then a few people were saying to me, hey, you're really good. You're very motivating. You're enthusiastic. I love listening to you. So then I thought, all right, let's come up. Because then part of the Ninja program is you start working on your brand. You start working on your credibility. You start looking at how to optimize things. And so then we started looking at, okay, well, what's the next thing that we can do? So we started organizing regular Facebook Lives every Tuesday at 8 p.m. And I just introduced a different topic. And I thought, well, I've got enough knowledge. I've been in the game for 30 years. I know what's going on. Let's just talk about stuff that people want to talk about. And then I started asking my own clients, so look, what are the things you want to know about? And they'd say various things from food and nutrition and motivation and this, that, and everything else. So every week I'd have a different topic. And then what I started doing was, when I started getting clients that got really, really good results, or they participated in a particular event or whatever, I said, hey, look, I want to interview you for my Facebook Live. So naturally, the Facebook Live started it became this thing that just started growing and growing and growing. And it got me on the platform out there to the people. And I wasn't even boosting.
No, you weren't boosting. But the first couple episodes, Tony, I mean, if you could put a number on it, how many clients or how much revenue did you make in your first 1 or 2 episodes alone?
Oh, Richard, I'll be honest. I reckon the first episode we would have made at least, and I'm not making up these numbers, at least 30 plus grand, because I reckon we signed up at that stage between 5 and 10 clients in the space of a couple of weeks. 5 to 10
clients.
And I didn't even have, I reckon we had over 1,000 views. So that's 5 clients is nothing. But the thing was, it got me on the platform. For all the people that knew me from years ago, they saw me because they're on Facebook. And then all of a sudden they started following me. Then they started, because you guys redid my website, and that was the other beauty of it, people started going to this new website. They go, wow, I love what you guys are doing. And we're still in the old place. We're still in the old place in the 60s home.
In the 1960s place.
We're not even in the new place yet. So I'm thinking, but we did the groundwork, see? We got all that right. Then Joey helped me tidy up. You know, we started doing Instagram, and I had no idea about Instagram. Then she's talking about Insta stories and all this. So I'd go on runs and start doing some bits and pieces. And Lucy started doing some stuff. And it just started naturally evolving. And then what happened is in one of the, actually it was this time last year, I reckon it was, Rich. I mean, we had a ninja workshop, and it was about, you have to have a compelling offer. So you kept talking about what's your unique selling point. I thought, well, I know what my unique selling point is. I specialize in one-on-one training, but you need an offer. I said, well, Rich, I don't need an offer. I do body analysis. They're $95. Clients come in, and you said to me, but Tony, a body analysis, I feel like I'm going to the doctor. That's boring. You've got to change the name. I said, well, I don't know. What are we going to call it then? I said, all right, I'll tell you what we'll do. We value added it. We added a 15-minute free massage. We added all these other bits and pieces to it. We added an eating plan, a training routine. We built it up, and we reduced the price to $49. And we called it the Kickstart session, the better than ever Kickstart session.
Yes.
And then Ev said to me, we've got to put this on or automate it on Messenger and Facebook. So we created this bot. I didn't even know what the hell they were talking about. But I said, oh, Ev, you're in charge. Set it up. Let's do a Facebook ad. Let's do this bot. Oh, do you remember, Richard? I had to tell you to turn the stupid thing on.
I remember. We put
so many freaking leads, I couldn't cope with them all.
Yeah, we put a little bit of ad spend to it at that time. Your brand awareness up. Ev built a bot, created a bot. You put a little bit of money on your ads, not much. And yeah, I remember at your studio, you said, Richard, turn the Facebook off. It's just getting too many leads.
Turn it off.
You couldn't handle the leads anymore.
I couldn't. We doubled our client base in the space of about 3 months. So at that stage, what happened, we went through a bit of a rough patch. I had someone working for me and things didn't quite work out. And then I lost quite a few of my client base. I lost 22% of my client base. And we had built the client base up to about close to 100. It was about 100 and actually it was over 100. I think it was about 114. And then it dropped right down to about 60. And I remember I was looking at our total sales for the month, and it was like 30 grand. I was like, far out. And this is total sales. I was like, gee, this is not, we're in trouble here. We've got rent to pay. We've got this to do. We've got that to do. This is not going to work out. And then I thought 30 grand for the quarter, not for the month, for the quarter. And I was thinking, this is not going to work out. We're not earning enough money. And then when you said about the offer, we put the offer on, we put the Kickstart session on, and it just went absolutely nuts. And it was so good because then we engaged Impact Sales, and they helped us with our selling from the front end. So you guys helped sort out all of our social media platforms. And then Impact Sales, Darren and Steve helped us with our sales and how we talk to the potential lead. So we got that in, and we just started tidying a lot of our systems up. And like I said, we went from selling blocks of sessions, which we still have. We've still got blocks of 5 and blocks of 10, but we call them our taste testers now.
Taste testers.
Taste testers.
Love it.
So you want to taste of what better than ever is about? You can buy a block of 5, a block of 10, but they're more expensive. Now, this is the funny thing is people are thinking, but why would you sell a block more expensive than your direct debit? Because we want them on direct debit. We don't want them to buy blocks. Because what happens with blocks? People buy a block, and then you're going to try and then do the hard sell again to try and convince them after 5 or 10 sessions to pay another, 6, 7, 8.
You're always in a sales process.
And you're always selling. You're always trying to sell. If you put them on a direct debit, and we do it weekly because it's the smallest common denominator, we now charge $98 a week, and they can come as many times as they want.
Right.
Wow, that's phenomenal value. So you're telling me you charge $80 for a personal training session, but for an extra $18, I can come as many times I want. Yep, but you've got to be in a group of no more than 3 people. And they're like, that's fine. I'm happy with that. Bam. Sales went through the roof. And then we started rewarding our clients to say, now, if you refer someone to us and they sign up as a member, we'll give you a $50 credit on your account. So you can apply it to a massage, you can apply it to a personal training session or whatever you want. You could do a one-on-one session with that. So we started incentivizing our clients, and without us having to do a lot of advertising, we were able to get more referrals from our clients. All we needed to do was focus on our clients, focus on them getting results. And naturally, if they're losing weight and getting fit and healthy, they're going to tell other people. And if they're telling other people, we're going to get more leads. And then because we learned the process through you guys and through Impact, we just ran the machine. So fast forward.
And it was at this point here, let me just tune in there. Is it this? I got to tune in for these conversations with Tony. I love them. It was at this point here that you made the leap of faith.
Big.
You made the leap of faith to enter in these premises that you've had there for 10 years. Guys, if you are tuning in and watching now, comment below and say, and let me know your thoughts. Let me know your questions you have with Tony. You know, he's gone through a whole transformation here. At this point here, then, you tripled your business base, and you had the Kickstart offer, and your confidence was up. You did your Facebook Live every single week. Your brand was there.
Yeah.
You're flying in and out of Sydney once a month.
Yeah.
Some time out of your business, but you were getting an injection there of just lifting the business. Lucy came in a couple of times as well.
Yeah.
And just on that, before I get to the point, how was it, you know, I just want to highlight this fact. Tony's in Adelaide and you flew every month. How much was that of a challenge for you? And what was the outcome and benefit in regards to giving up that day? What did you receive by giving up that day?
Well, for many years, Richard, I was always working in my business. And I just kept working in it, and trying to figure it out as I went. And you get to a stage, like I said, where you just have to let go. I'm a bit of a control freak, and I need to know what's going on. So I had to let go. So I thought, okay, I have to sacrifice just one day a month. It's one day. Okay, I don't see clients for that day. So what? I lose income, right? But I'm going to gain all this knowledge. So in my mind, I thought, okay, the investment that I made with if I can, you know, we talk about, 10 timesing what your investment is. I thought, if I could just double that, it'll be worth it. If I can make my money back on what I spend with and double it, then I'm in front, because then that'll cover what I would have probably lost in training sessions. But then it got to a stage where we weren't just doubling it, we were 10 timesing it. And then I'm thinking, Farah, this is working so well. I just got to keep this machine going. So as we went around the wheel and learned all the different aspects of the Ninja, as part of the Ninja program, I started looking at where I had gaps in my business. And then I started engaging you with the business strategy meetings. And then you helped me with my numbers, and you started fine-tuning things even further. And with the help of my accountant and you, and this is the thing, you have to have a business coach. You can't rely on yourself, because you're going to make decisions that you don't want to make. And if you only rely on yourself, you're going to say, look, I won't worry about it for now. I can't afford it, or that's not important. I won't do it. And your coach will keep you accountable. That's the key. Accountability is the key to take the steps. And yes, I took the biggest leap of faith that I had. This fear was within me, was deep. Like, I was scared I was going to lose everything, and I was going to be broke. And I had this warehouse that I had a tenant in. I got to a stage where the rent I was almost, positively gearing it at this stage. And I thought, okay, I have to pull the trigger now. I just have to move into this place. So we ran our numbers, we worked out what we had to do. And December 24th, 2018, Christmas Eve, we moved into our brand new premises, and it has gone absolutely bananas.
Crazy.
Clients. So we had the systems already in place. We just needed the location. Well, we had the location, we had a similar location. We just needed the venue now. But the thing with a lot of trainers make the mistake is they look for the perfect location, they look for the perfect venue, and then they think the clients are just going to rock up. Well, mate, if you don't have the systems in place, you don't have all your marketing in order, you don't know your numbers, you don't have all your business systems in place, forget about, you might be in the most expensive suburb in whatever capital city you're in, and you might be training the millionaire of millionaires, and no one will see you because you're not doing anything different than the person next door. And we've got a gym that's next door to us.
Yep.
And we're not competing with them at all. They do more CrossFit stuff and all that. We're boutique, but they can't understand why we're so successful. They got more members than us, but we're probably making more money than them. Now, I don't know, but because we are just doing things on a level that ensures our retention rate is so high because we just look after the client, because we don't have to worry about our systems anymore. All the systems have been taken care of.
But you spend the time creating the systems, Tony. That's the thing. You spent the time creating the systems.
And that's what the Ninja program helped me do. And that's what that investment once a month was about. You know, you have to invest in your business, both finance, and you've got to put your hand in your pocket. Don't think for 1 minute you can just watch a YouTube clip or, read a book or something, and it's going to give you the same value as a face-to-face interaction with someone. And the other thing was, I learned so much of all the other ninjas because we got the same problems. We've got the same challenges. And it doesn't matter that I was in Adelaide and they were in Sydney or Melbourne or wherever. The beauty of it was we're touching base. We're going, oh, look, how'd you go this month? Oh, yeah, I tried this and it worked really well. Oh, I didn't know that. Let me try that. And so you start implementing strategies together. And then we'd obviously ask you and Joey and the team and we'd say, look, what do you think about this? We'd have our breakout sessions and that would help us fine tune a few little things. Mate, look, I'm not saying this because I'm trying to be nice. And for you guys, it's just so important to be a part of this program because it totally changed my business. If it wasn't for Richard and his team and the comm process and the Ninja program, there's no way that we'd be in this building now. There is no way. I would still be in that old premises in the 60s house, still training probably, the 40, 50, maybe 60 clients, and my income would be, I'll be earning 100 grand a year. Thanks very much. That's fine. No problems. But if we keep going the way we're going right now, we are scaling so fast that our numbers are like 200%, 300%, 400%. Our attendance is up. Our membership is well over 200 now. It's like ridiculous. And we're scaling to a stage where we'll max out this premises at about 300 members. And we're already looking at next year opening up another studio on the eastern suburbs. So we're in the west suburbs.
Guys, just to recap, if you're just joining us, this is Tony Mello, Better Than Ever founder. 20 years of being in a very small space as a personal trainer. Just late last year, December, moved into this premises, being the Ninja program for 8 months. You did your first Facebook Live. You made about $30,000 in your first Facebook Live ever. You never used Facebook before. You didn't know what it was. No. And then you consistently kept doing Facebook Lives every single week. You're still doing them 8 p.m. Wednesday, right?
Yeah, so that's changed now. So what we've done, what's happened now, Richard, we did 69 official Facebook Lives, but I remember you made a comment to me when we started becoming a bit more raw and a bit more spontaneous and organic with our Facebook Live. So what we did on our very, very last Facebook Live, we filmed our old studio. We walked around the old studio and we got in the car and drove to the new studio and we gave everyone a bit of a look around the new studio. And I remember you saying to me, oh, mate, I love the new format. And I thought, you know what, this is what we've got to do. We've got to make it more raw, more organic. So now what I do, we've now moved onto the YouTube and podcast platform. So because of the confidence that I got with Facebook Live, we now needed to take it up to another level. So what we did, we now created the Look Good, Feel Great podcast and the Look Good, Feel Great YouTube channel. So now we're killing 5 birds with one stone. I make one recording, it goes on YouTube every Wednesday. So today's episode's out. And here's the key, guys. I don't have to recreate the content because all my Facebook Lives that I did last year, I'm just going back and re-recording them as YouTubes.
Outstanding. Guys, if you've ever been to our New Age Online Marketing event, what I'm just hearing here is exactly the same process that we teach, guys. And Tony's gone full circle, and now he's a living, breathing proof that you can be consistent and you get the results. And now, guys, you've gone from yourself, you have six staff now. Is that right, Tony?
Yeah, we've got a full-time office manager. We've got three full-time PTs, and we've got another 2 juniors that we're training up.
Great.
We've got a physio that's going to come on board with us. Bowen therapist come on board with us. My wife Lucy does the remedial massage therapy. We're about to probably put on another admin person. Mate, we've gone from a team of just my wife and I, and in less than 6 months, we're going to have a team of 10.
Outstanding.
So,
guys, and it's just a total transformation. And I'm going to come to Adelaide shortly. If anybody's in Adelaide, I'm going to do a pop-up mastermind, 6 people kind of round table. I'm coming to Adelaide the 18th and 19th of July. And I'm going to come to your studio, Tony. And I want to do a filming. I want to show everybody what it's, because if you're not following Tony, follow Tony. And in some of the Facebooks and the news show, you're going to see his facility. It's world-class, outstanding. And it's not just an empty room. It's a full studio. It's got a kitchen. It's got private rooms. Yeah. It's got everything. And it's just outstanding. And this is just the reception we have here now. So, guys, if you are tuning in, this is Tony Malo, better than ever founder. And what a transformation. So over the space of, we're a year and a half in, you've gone from sitting in this space, not knowing what the hell Facebook is, now telling me you're doing a podcast show, you're doing YouTube. You got 5 trainers. Maybe I'll ask you specific numbers. Looks like you've tripled your business. Yeah. And you've moved into a new premises, your dream premises. And I just think it's outstanding. And the one thing that I know we could talk all day, Tony, but I am aware that we're probably got a little bit, we could talk all day, but I am aware that, you know, you have done this. And if I can just summarize it, you've done this because you believed in the system, you were consistent, you did the work, and you broke through the fear. If I can give you one more question, and it is a great interview, so thanks for tuning in, everybody. What is the one item? What is the one item that you would recommend somebody that was in your position a year and a half ago, getting that news from the accountant, they lost $64,000, and everybody's been in similar situations, comment below if you have, and you're thinking, what should I do? Should I go spend some money on getting a coach? Should I go and just, close down shop? After your transformation, what would the advice that you would give to somebody in a similar situation to you? Well,
without a doubt, the next dollar that I'd spend would be on being a part of the Ninja program. Because when you think about the cost involved in being a part of the program and what you gain out of it, it's so small. The investment is so small. So you got your Crush Your Fitness marketing, you got your next level up. Com's got a process. And I'm not just saying this because I'm talking to you, Richard. I would say this to any trainer, even that I speak to on the streets. People don't understand the value of having a coach. Now, you can pay tens of thousands of dollars for a one-on-one coach, and that's fine. But not everyone's in that position to do that, especially when they're starting off. And in my opinion, the biggest mistake that a lot of trainers make is they finish their courses, they get thrown into the industry, and they've got no business sense at all. They just think, yeah, well, I know how to exercise, I know how to train people. Mate, we got to be psychologists, we got to be, counselors, we got to be everything to everybody. But more importantly, you need to know how to run your business, and you need to know what areas of your business you are not good at. And that's the key. Identify, take a step back. Take a step back. Even if you can't afford a coach, speak to someone a trusted friend or colleague that will give you an honest feedback about your business or about you as a trainer and say, hey, you need to do this. This is what I recommend that you do next. And don't just think you can just go through the motions, or don't think you're going to do what everybody else is doing and get on social media and just doing the standard Instagram post. As Richard will tell you, that market now is getting saturated. If you're not doing something different, and you're not standing out, you're going to just get washed away in the surf like everybody else. So you have to find out, who'll talk about all this, who your avatar is, what your unique selling point is, what your brand is, what your credibility. You've got to get those basics right. It doesn't matter if you've got the six-pack. It doesn't matter if you've got the best body in the world. It doesn't matter how many bodybuilding competitions you won or whatever, or how many triathlons you won. No one gives a shit about that. What they care about is what you're going to do for them. I've had trainers sitting here in an interview with me, and one guy showed me his abs. And I said to him, what, and you think that you showing me your abs is going to make me employ you? You're going to be joking me. You're going to be joking me. It's not about you. It's about what you do for the client. But understand your business. That's the key. So that's more than one, Richard.
Amazing. Guys, this is outstanding. And we've just put the link to Tony's podcast as well. So guys, I want to wrap up this episode. Thank you for your time, Tony. It's been amazing to see your journey and your transformation from day one since having the phone conversation initially, flying into Sydney, sitting in a room, trusting the process and allowing that to actually transform your whole business. I've thoroughly enjoyed the journey of yourself, Lucy, and your team in this transformation, and I look forward to seeing you live in Adelaide shortly. I haven't actually seen the new place. It's been 6 months. I've seen the old empty warehouse, and I think that was episode 69 or 68 of Quick Wins with Com. I'll put the link in the comments there. You can check out the old place. We'll put the link of the last Quick Wins episode in there. I'll get Eb to do that now. And then I'm going to show you in about a month's time the new place of what it looks like inside. And so it's credit to yourself, guys. I think we're out of questions here, but thanks for everybody tuning in. Just a shout out to Philip, David, Nick, John, Kylie, Bob, Sharon, Ashley, Colette, Dave, Della, and Kylie. Awesome to have you tuning in. And if anybody watching this on replay, just say hi of watching this on replay. I think we can all take a little bit out of what Tony's talking about. We're talking about the fear. We're talking about not knowing what to do. We're talking about losing all your clients. We've talked about being consistent and persistent. We're talking about taking time out of business to learn and grow. And most importantly, we are talking about how you've tripled your business, how you've moved into a new premises, how you upgrade yourself because you took the first step. So thank you, Tony.
Thanks, mate. Pleasure.
Thanks, guys. And for those who are new to this group, make sure you're going into our Facebook group called Crush Your Fitness Marketing. And if you do want to take Tony's position and really be where Tony is, the best thing to do is go to our website, Com Marketing, and on the homepage, you can hit the button and it says, are you interested in becoming a ninja? That's going to get you a 45-minute conversation. And we can go deep diving, just like we did with Tony, around, is this the right program for you? And I hope it is, and we can definitely help you. Guys, to recap, we are the only recommended marketing company for Fitness Australia, Exercise New Zealand, Pay Smart Mind Body. And so that means that we want to make sure that we grow this amazing community called Australia. We want to make people healthier and fitter, and we need your help doing that. So if you do want to be a ninja, go to our website, Com Marketing. There's a box on there. It says, interested in becoming a ninja. Put your details in there and we'll get in touch. And bye for now. Thanks, everybody. Thanks so much, Tony. Appreciate it.
See you, mate.
Bye.